Hey everyone, up at my bonsai oasis up north with the pump house open. Doing a little staring at that right now. The solar array is doing its job in the full sunshine. It's getting water from down below in the deep, deep well. But there's a serious problem, and I might need a new one sooner than later. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Beauty of a day up at Bonsai Acres. Welcome everybody to the second fenced-in tree area where all my bonsai with the bonsai soil have been hovering around here for the last couple of months. And the system has been working. The sprinklers have been working. I've been getting water where I need to get water. However, things have gone drastically wrong, and I've seen the slow progression of this, and it's just inevitable. I need a new well. And I'm going to talk to the people and get them out there yet this year just to get a quote for hopefully late this fall or more than likely first thing next spring. Let me tell you what's going on here. So if you look close here, everybody, this pot is not supposed to be multicolored. This is a white pot. It is no longer white. It's very rust, kind of like this, which we'll explain in a moment what this is. This is not rust, I don't think. It could be iron, partially from the well, but there's something going on. The pots are getting discolored, the wood's getting discolored. We've got a problem. So I was using this sprinkler first, and then if you'll remember, I went to go buy a couple of cheap sprinklers and I ended up using this one. Well, I'm gonna look at this one first. Can you see this one? Can you see the dirty, dusty color? It doesn't go back and forth very much anymore. I think the fine powdery sand that's in my well is wreaking havoc on the system. Water comes out, but this doesn't go back and forth very nice anymore. And you can just kind of see it's kind of got this rustic look to it. Not so good. This was bright yellow. Now it's got this dingy, it's even brighter than that. It's got this dingy orange color, and it looks like it's all rust on here. And this is plastic. This isn't metal rusting. So is there iron in the well, or is it the fine sand particles? Now, the problem with this is becoming, I have plants that all the bark and all the leaves are turning a copper color, turning to rust, and it is not really a good thing. Let me go back and grab this plant for you in the white pot. So if you can see here, we've got some new growth, and that's relatively green. Relatively green right there. But these guys got this dull, dirty look, and it doesn't wash off really well. I'd have to get in here with a cotton swab and some, maybe even rubbing alcohol, or I don't know what's going to take this off. The trunk. This trunk is supposed to be a brown, and this trunk right here is supposed to be green because it's a brand new section of trunk, and it's kind of this copper, this rust. The trees are not going to photosynthesize, in my opinion, as well if we have that going on. So we have to fix it. So I have two options. Can I get a well tomorrow? No. Can I get a well this fall? Possibly. New water by the end of the year, and then it'll be winter. It's already almost the last week of July when I'm filming this. And so I figured I'd put in a drip system. So the hose from the pump comes in right here at the west, or the east end rather, of the fence, and it's kind of put on this board right here. I put this secure board here, and I've got just screws kind of crisscrossed to hold the tubing in. It goes down there, elbows over, tees over here, comes elbows over here, and goes back to that tee. Those connect, and there's a release valve over there. The water is going to go through there, and it's going to drip all my trees. Now, the way it's set up now, nothing's going to come out until I put the drippers in there. So that's phase two, time to get to work. So I've got the small tubing. This supplies the water. This is going to go to each individual tree with these connectors. So this connector right here, if all goes well, sticks right in here. Let's go to this one. And this is going to stick in right here, right around this tube. And I just poked it in there. It's self-poking. I don't have to drill any holes or anything. I just poked it in there. And then the water comes out of this tube. Well, this tube right here is not going to go into this tree, so now I have to hook up some tube and put it right here. They make splitters. I can go two-way, but right now I'm going to set up at least one tube per tree, and if I put it right here, all the water is going to slowly go down this way because it's a little bit lenient. I can put some wood in there, planks, to make it a little bit more flat. So I got to put these in by all the major trees, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in some tubing. So I do know for my drip system at home, the indoor one I have, I could bring that up here too and have 5 more, and that could be in a 5-gallon bucket of water, rainwater hopefully. That'd be great. I got to start collecting my water, rainwater. And you can go ahead. Here we go. That one's going to curve around right up there. The rainwater in a bucket, and that would work for the couple days that I'm not here. And so that could be 5 more trees. I might have to get some for double. I might have to put another one here and go to the back side of that tree. 2 for this big one. And there was a lot of akadama in here, and the akadama, when it gets wet, it's going to spread and hold moisture, and things should be okay. Oop, I have a small one here for my holiday cactus. I can't forget that one. So, is this the best scenario? Absolutely not. Is it going to work? Gosh, I hope so. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want all of this water with all the sand, fine powdery sand particles going on all the foliage of my trees. So here we go. Here is the test. I've got things hooked up. Now the clouds come over, so I'm not going to have much pressure, which might be a good thing for a test. But let's go ahead and give it 10 minutes. It's going to kick on, and we're going to check to see where water is flowing. It's a pretty big flow. It's flowing here. This one is not flowing. This one's dripping where it needs to drip. This one's dripping, but not a ton. No leaks up here. That one's dripping pretty good. That one's getting water. That one's getting water. It's already draining out the bottom. This one's getting water. I can put it right there in the trunk. This one's getting water. And we can twist these. This one's getting water. That one I need 4 more connections for over there. This one's squirting water. Oh, this one doesn't even have a tube on it, but it's squirting water real nicely right the way it is. So I don't even need the tubes per se. What I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get about another 10 of these and do 2 for the big pots. The little pots will probably be fine the way they are. It will get water, it'll spread out through the pot, and that's probably, I only need about 15 minutes twice a day because a lot of water is running out. You know, it's going to be very concentrated in one area, but this is going to be a lot better than the spray, and things will be getting watered. Fabulous. All the drips are still working. Things are operational. Is it the best situation? No. Is it better than getting everything all copper colored, iron colored, and photosynthesis going down the drain? I think so. I just hope it doesn't do anything to the root system, being that there is some fine sand particles. But people plant things in sand all the time, you know, cuttings and so forth. I think we'll be okay for the rest of summer. And the water is flowing, and it's going to get the pots relatively well wet. Now there might be some nooks and crannies of each pot that doesn't quite get wet. So hopefully the water just kind of slowly goes from pebble to pebble, especially the akadama, and kind of, you know, saturates the whole thing. I believe it'll do an okay job. And again, it's only been on for less than 10 minutes, and some pots I see have gotten a lot of water, and it's probably going to work out pretty well. The bigger pots will definitely need the longer time, but I'll get a secondary hose for those. And so, a solution for right now. So we'll call it successful and maybe chillax for the rest of the day.
Well, a very odd and strange good morning to you all. It's about 3:20 in the morning, and it kind of just came to me. I forgot to tell you all that there was some news to share, and well, I'm just gonna throw it out there, you know. I got myself a roommate. That's right, everybody. The flippin' slide did its job. Dave had a mouse enter the property about a week or so ago, trying to get some food and some morsels that I had left out. And I set up the flip and slide mouse trap, and he's pretty stiff in there right now because I'm talking. But he went up that old ladder back there and tried to get himself some peanut butter. And I think he's been enjoying the nuts that I put inside down there for him. So I've been very humane. He's not dead. And now we're going to go give him a little new home outside in the wilderness. And just in case you thought it was a stuffed animal, I just wanted to prove to you that, yeah, he's looking to get out. So we'll give him one more shot as long as he stays away.
A good afternoon to everybody. Back up at Bonsai Acres after a quick weekend home. Was able to get a few things done at home, and got some workshops coming up, but a couple days back up here. And first thing this morning, I headed up to the box store to grab more cement. That's right. I need 120 bags of cement, give or take, for the first half of the foundation project. So we loaded up the trailer. I'm starting to get pretty good at backing up this trailer too. Yeah, not too many back and forth to get in its location. Unloaded the cement, put it back by the cabin area where I'm staging everything, just waiting for that excavator. Yep, doing a lot of waiting. My next project for the day is trying to think about a couple of possible scenarios to put my IBC tank. So a big thank you to all the people that have commented on my tree situation, their condolences, sympathies. I do appreciate it. And, you know, onward and upward, right? Things can get tough, and we're just going to keep forging ahead. And IBC tank was one of the options, and filtration systems and all that kind of good stuff. So I probably will get a filtration system that could help. How about an IBC tank to collect some rainwater? Well, that's what I want to do. But I tell y'all, we haven't had rain up here for 3 weeks plus. We're going to move on. What am I thinking? Well, it's just, where am I going to collect the rainwater? Now, it hasn't rained for 3 weeks, so I really need the water from the well. And but when it does rain, I want to collect it. nothing like rainwater. I'd love maybe 1 or 2 more IBC tanks too. But one of them I think would be perfect by one of my 2 fences. Why wouldn't I put it by my trees? Because then it's easier to haul. Now, one of the places I was thinking was my firewood holder over there, up by where the cabin's gonna be. Because they already got a roof on there. Get a gutter system on there, put that there. I have, you know, my 300 gallons of water. But we probably should put it here by the tree, especially if we have 3 weeks of drought, 4 weeks of drought. Who knows when it's gonna rain here next? And so that could go right here by this tree. Why by this tree? Well, I was thinking about possibly building a workbench. Now, my buddy Alan from Triple Root Bonsai just made a workbench from recycled wood or leftover wood he had in his place. And oh my gosh, do I have recycled wood? I could make a workbench right here where this pile of wood is. You know, it's plenty deep, be right under the tree, but then that provides shade, but then I couldn't put a roof very open to like rain. So maybe I won't put it here. Maybe I'll put it right over here. I'm always a little bit nervous about making things not attractive looking. This fence went up a little bit pieces parts. There's some parts that are not stained up on top, and I got this green color stain on the door, which I think is pretty cool, next to the gray, little pieces partish. My house will be much more polished, trust me, the cabin house. But maybe the IBC could go here. Now, the IBC, though, is a little bit wider than left or right of the gate. And I'd probably want it on that side because the gate opens this way. So I could put the IBC here, but I don't want it to stick out too far because I need the four-wheelers to go up and down the sides of this. So I'm thinking this is just a little too tight. But if I do put it here, I would cover it up like I did last time at my old house, and kind of like the slats I put up at the firewood holder, and make it look a little bit covered and pretty. But then how would I collect water? Well, here's my thought. I would cover it with a roof. So it would be, 4x4 roof. That's some surface area. Plus, if you notice, the gate from up there to down here, there's a pitch. It flows downhill. I literally could put a gutter from that side to this side and then make some kind of roof section on my fenced-in area here. Now, not a very wide roof. I'm not going to roof this whole thing, but I could put a little bit of a roof and funnel all that water right on down this track right into the IBC. So, but before I can even consider that, I have to see if it fits here. So let's go see if I can move it. My tomato bush. Do you all like tomatoes off the vine? Oh, I love tomatoes off the vine. Now, somebody on the comment section said, well, if you had a tank and you put the water in there, would the sediment kind of settle to the bottom and you can then just take it from the top with a pump of some sort? Yeah, it probably would work. But I've noticed even in my 5-gallon buckets, as soon as you stir it a little bit, it's so fine and powdery, it's quite amazing. And of course, the problem too is that this tank would become full of sediment, full of sandy sediment, which I could wash and rinse out later in its life. And that's a lot of water in there. But now with the door opening this way, it actually hits the ground right about here. And this is about as far as I'd ever need to open it anyway. And so this could work, and then raise it off the ground 2 feet so it's sitting up about here, and then I just have easy access to my water. IBC tank. Thought number 1. So I took a drive out towards the new wood shed. Well, it's the wood storage shed. We've got 8 feet by 3 feet high, first row of stack done. Yeah, that is exciting. So this thing is huge. We got a roof up there. Now that's going to be solar panels. But on top of the solar panels, or in the front of the solar panels, right along this roof here, the water can run on down right in a gutter system. Now again, that's not a very big roof. But if it rains really hard and it collects all that rain, a couple of good rains can fill this or that IBC tank really, really quickly. And it's always going to collect anytime it rains. So, you know, if it takes a little while to fill up at first, it does. A couple good rainstorms. Now, where to put the IBC tank? Now, of course, I still have this big sharp cliff right here that we have to add more dirt under here. And we're going to try to plug up some of these holes so I don't get a lot of critters just wanting to hang out in here. And I want to get a lot of dirt in here so this doesn't settle too much, because that's a concern too. I got this kind of birch type tree here. I don't know if it's a birch or not. Looks like a birch, has birch leaves. I don't know if it's a paper birch. It's not a river birch. So I don't know what to do with this tree. The clump has broken into one from these three little ones. Yeah, that one just broke right off, right there. I might move some of this, right? So if I could put the IBC tank right here, I think that would be best. I don't want to keep it on that side, because I want to keep the poplar for sure. But so if I take that tree out and put some dirt here and build up the IBC so it is off the ground again and the water flows right over here, right into the IBC tank, I'd have water. Now, why do I want water over here? Well, because besides just this beautiful solar array to be and wood storage facility, where I'm standing now and where the four-wheeler was just parked to tape this section is going to be, I think, the garden. So, you know, I have tomatoes over there, but I'm going to take all my foundation pieces. When they're done doing the foundation thing, I'm going to clean those up, polish them up, stain them up, and put them here for 5 raised garden beds. And I'm going to start my garden. So I'd like to grow, again, some more tomatoes. I'd like to grow some cucumbers, and so I'd like to do some pickling and, you know, canning of tomatoes for tomato sauce. I love pasta. And so at least tomatoes, at least cucumbers, and probably some green beans. Growing up, I loved the green bean off the vine. But whatever I build or whatever I grow remains to be seen. I'm going to have the garden here. Now, the hose from way out there, according to where the current pump is, the current well, that would be another 100 feet of hose. Could I buy that and bring it out here? Of course I could. Or I could have an IBC tank right there with 300 gallons on the ready. I could put a pump in there or just open up the spigot, fill up some watering cans, and water by hand a couple times if it's needed after dry weather like we're having now. So there we go. I really can't do a whole lot today. I'll go check my extra wood. But if I'm going to put it there, I need to get some more dirt, and I can't get dirt because the ground is so dry, and I don't want to work that hard. I just don't. Now the other option, of course, we could put it back here. It's already relatively filled in with dirt. It's fairly flat. So whether I have a garden here in the near future or in the further future, you know, this would fit 3 IBC tanks very comfortably 2 feet off the ground, and I've had full access to water for all my crops. And, you know, if you get a little pump, put a little hose in there, you can also water things a lot easier than dragging water around. And that's only about a 25 to 50 foot hose. One hose and a pump and you're good to go. So we'll leave it here for now. We'll do some contemplating. I only have one right now, so I can't think about putting 3 in when I only have one. And yeah, we'll see what happens next. It's a couple days later, and I went back to the box store and got a couple more of the drip mechanisms to add 5 more. And we only had 1 package. It was actually in the wrong box. The first time I went, box was empty. Second time I went, box was empty. But I looked at the box to the left, and sure enough, there was a package of 5 someone put back in the wrong place. That could have even been me. And so I got 5 more and put a couple extra ones in my big pots, and then 3 additional pots now have drips. So hopefully this is going to work. And I also had to add the tubes to those to direct them in the right location, and the filter. So again, many thanks to everybody that chimed in. Most people think it's an iron issue, and so I've got one of these filters. This is camper filters, RV filters, and they're about 1 foot long, and they came in a 2-pack for about 25 bucks. So for the rest of this year, I'll probably use this one, maybe go into the next one to see. Well, I'll see. I'll do some more research on how long they last, but it's only going to be on twice a day for a little dripping. So not a ton of water in the end. I mean, not gallons upon gallons per day. But we'll see. And so this Camco deal here, hooked up to the hose. It hooks up to the pump house. This comes in here to my new drip system, and we're all set to go. So we can only wish for the best. Some people thought could have been sulfur, but there's no smells associated with this. A lot of people thinking it's iron. I do have my IBC tank ready to get a gutter going to get some fresh rainwater. Had our first rain in 4 weeks up here, but it was just enough to get everything wet and kind of wet my firewood. Bummer. But it got the ground a little bit of a saturation, just a little bit. And of course, the cloud cover and the lack of heat, only in the 70s today, just giving these trees a rest. So yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up here. The trees are doing okay. I've cleaned up a few. I've clipped a few of the ugly things off, and I'm going to try to do the vinegar and water cleaning of the trees. So some vinegar and water, and then people said, you know, flush out the bottom of your pot, flush it out real good so you don't have any extra vinegar in there with the roots. You can also cover your soil with maybe tin foil or saran wrap, and then do some scrubbing with a toothbrush, vinegar and water, and then the leaves and stuff. You can try hydrogen peroxide. That's not worked that much for me. I haven't tried soap and water yet. So vinegar is the next attempt for me. We've got the filter. We've got the drip system. Hey, we're going to do all we can. Thanks again for all the well wishes. Take care of you. Take care of your bonsai. You know we're going to see you on the next one. Until soon.